So welcome everyone. I sure feel very welcome. And I'm very proud, and thank you for having me. And in the next half an hour, I'm going to share with you what those two pictures have in common for me. And I'm going to start in 1983. In 1983, I'm standing at the start line of the 100-meter sprint. 100 meters away in getting my Olympic ticket. My Olympic ticket to represent my country, Belgium, in the 4x100-meter relay at the Olympic Games in 1984 in Los Angeles. And for years, I had made really clear decisions. I was committed and determined. I was going to get that Olympic ticket. And I was passionate and obsessed. I trained 7 days a week. And even on the occasional Saturday evening, when I went out with my friends, I was always the first one to be back home. And trust me, on the Sunday morning, I sure was the first one, and most probably the only one, to get back up, to go to the track, and to train. So imagine this. I'm in my starting blocks. The gun goes. I shoot out of the starting blocks. 10 meters, 20 meters, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 meters. And then, snap. Hamstring. My Olympic dream was disrupted. My sports career was disrupted. But it reminded me of a saying by Nelson Mandela, who said, "You know what? Don't judge me on my successes. You judge me on how many times I've fallen and I got back up again." And although I discovered the expression many years later, that is exactly what I did. I got back up again. And as a sprinter, as a sportsman, I learned that if you wanted to achieve something, there's three things you need. Of course, you need a little bit of talent in the discipline you choose. So I suppose I had that. But you needed to be committed, determined, passionate, and obsessed about it. And you needed a little bit of luck. Now, it's quite obvious that in 1983, I didn't have the luck. But luckily, I had many good friends. And a good friend of mine, I'll never forget him. His name is Kurt. He came to me, and he was actually, as a hobby, he used to be a cook, and he organized private dinners for friends and family. And he came to me, he said, "Thomas, now that you have some time on your hands and to get things off your mind, why don't you join me and help me out during these private dinners?" I said, "What the heck, why not? Make some pocket money." And I did. And you know, ladies and gentlemen, by accident, I discovered a new passion, a new talent. Well, I believe so, because I've been doing this now for 26 years. And you know what? I went back to school, and I got my diploma as a hotel manager. And I got my first job as an MD in a hotel in Bruges. Maître d'hôtel, as they say in French. And you know, that friend Kurt, I'm still in contact with him. But never mind, I'm happy to say that 26 years later, I'm still an MD. And I'm still as passionate, committed, determined, and obsessed about giving great customer service every single day to thousands of customers over all our hotels in the UK and Ireland. And yes, my Olympic dream was disrupted, my sports career was disrupted, but you know what? It had empowered me. That disruption had empowered me, and today, 26 years later, I'm still confronted with disruption, but I truly believe that if you look at disruption in a positive way, it empowers you, it empowers your business, and it will empower your people. So what about disruption in our hospitality business? It's everywhere. But it didn't happen overnight. For many years, 90% of all the business or all the profits which were made in a hotel were made by the hotel, and 10% by what we used to call the traditional travel agent. Now, these times have changed, and it didn't happen overnight. Started 15 years ago, I'm sure you remember, with the arrival of the innovators, the online travel agent taking over from the traditional travel agent. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we had the aggregators, like Kayak and Trivago. You know, they're very clever people. They just sourced information on the internet, consolidated it on one nice website, so to make it for you, for us, for our customers, easier to make choices and take the right decisions. But then we had the disruptors, Uber and Airbnb. Well, whether they're innovators, aggregators, or disruptors, they are all 100% digital. They're all customer-driven. They are successful. They're growing. And they're here to stay. Now, all of this has made that our people, our customers, are looking at our business, at our hospitality industry, at our travel and tourism in a completely different way. Take mobile, for example. Did you know that by the end of this year, already 50% of all the online bookings will go through the mobile? And then there's internet. And I know, you're going to say, but Thomas, internet has been there for years. It's true. Only that today, we share everything on internet. No more secrets. Take TripAdvisor. In 2010, 20 million reviews. At the end of last year, 170 million reviews. And then there's these millennials, you know, the Y generation, with all their devices. Well, there's a study that says that 46% of these millennials would be more motivated and more inspired to come back to our businesses, to your businesses, if only, as an example, they could do their check-in or check-out on their mobile device. And these millennials, they always want new experiences. They want to be surprised, and they are looking for new kinds of accommodation. So, what if we listened a little bit more to these millennials? What if we involved them more in our reflections, in our decision-taking, in the projects we launched? But I know. Don't you all get that same question that I get several times a day? So, Thomas, how are you doing? Don't we all answer in the same way? At least I do, but I'm sure I'm not the only one. Good. Busy. That's like the only two things we say. Good and busy. And we are, because we're always focused and concentrated on what we're doing, that we do not take sufficient time to have a really look at what we're doing is actually the right way, the best way, the most efficient way. So you know what? 1 year ago, I took an enormous decision, big decision. I went to Bridget, she's my lovely PA. She's not here, by the way. And I said, Bridget, you're going to block 2 days on my agenda because I'm going to Paris. There's this convention organized by AccorHotels, and part of it is about start-up businesses. And I want to be there. And she said, but Thomas, it's not possible because your agenda, of course, it's fully booked. I've got meetings and lunches, and I've got a trip planned for you and a dinner, and you name it. I said, I don't care. I said, I'm very sorry, but you'll have to change it, adapt it, cancel it, postpone it, but I'm going. So I arrived in Paris at a not-so-conventional convention. Of course, millennials everywhere. And it looked a bit chaotic, because I don't know if you've seen hundreds of millennials in a room. I mean, they're not all sitting on chairs, by the way. Yeah? They sit in beanbags, they stand against the wall, they chat, they have computers, iPads, iPods, 3 behind a screen, cables from one to the other, headphones on, and they don't all have beards and tattoos and earrings. Yeah? Some might. Yeah? But you know what? There I was, looking for the program. And of course, I couldn't find the program. Until a nice chap came to me and he said, sir, I think you need to download the app. And I was a bit offended because it felt like I had never seen an app in my life. Yeah? But never mind, I did. So there I go, bang, app, worked immediately. Ah yeah, perfect working Wi-Fi. That's what they want. And I looked at the program and I said, there it is, that's something I know, speed dating. So I randomly picked a certain Jonathan, German, entrepreneur, started his own businesses in websites and apps and I don't know what, 27 years old, CEO. So I'd have to meet that guy. So I went to see Jonathan and I said, hi, Jonathan. And he said, hi, how are you? I said, great. And he said, I'm Thomas, I'm managing director, AccorHotels. I'm based in London and I look after the hotels in the UK and Ireland. Been doing this for 26 years. He said, no, nice meeting you. He said, have a seat. So I had one of these very comfy bean bags, but that's how it is. And he said, hi, I'm Jonathan. I'm 27 years old. I've got my own business, and I'm CEO. And I said, I'm really impressed because I've been working for 26 years to become a managing director. You are 27 years old. You've got your own business, yeah, and you're a CEO. And he said, yeah, I have my own business, but you know, the title, don't take it too seriously because I'm actually also the only one in my company. But you know what? I mean, the good thing about these millennials, yes, they're not only entrepreneurial, but they have a sense of humor. And they don't take themselves too seriously. So I said to Jonathan, I have a question for you. Are you not afraid that sooner or later someone is just going to copy what you're doing and probably doing it better? Or who knows, if it's good enough, probably just going to buy it from you? And he said, yeah. So what? Then I'll just start another business. And you see, that is the mindset of an entrepreneurial, the mindset of a millennial. They're doers, they're risk takers, they're innovative, creative, and disruptive. So I said, you know what, Jonathan? Well, you're going to help me out because I've got a bit of a challenge myself. I've been a damn good hotelier for 26 years. Good track record. But there's part of my business I would still like to improve and do better. And I said, it's the food and beverage part. Now, this was not my time because he looked at me, food and beverage. I said, yeah, come on, restaurants, bars, yeah. And he said, okay. And he said, is there anyone out there that you know that is performing a little bit better in that part of your business? And I said, yes. Look at the retail restaurants in the high street. They're standalone. I mean, not all of them, but some of them, standalone restaurants. Good revenues, good profits, great people, and customers very happy, so yeah. So he looked at me and he said, but Thomas, so why don't you do your own retail restaurant in some of your hotels? I said, yeah, but Jonathan, it's another expertise, it's another business model. I mean, I don't have that expertise. Well, so what? Why don't you just recruit someone who's got that expertise? So I took the train back, I sat with my board, and I said, I'm going to open at least one retail restaurant in the next year. And I got the same reaction, but Thomas, we don't have the expertise. And I said, well, so what? Huh? Said, we're going to recruit an expert. And we have. We recruited an expert in the retail business. And I'm proud to say 1 year later, we haven't opened only one of our retail restaurants called Jamboree, Food Fest of the World in a Novotel in London. We've signed a second one with one of our partners opening in the coming months in Manchester. 3 weeks ago, we opened our very first coffee shop with real coffee in Cambridge called Chill at 2. Come out of the station, look on the right, and there it is. We've opened 5 entertainment retail bars, and we've signed 5 more in 2017. Well, if it wouldn't be of Jonathan, who is most probably now 28 years old, and who knows, probably CEO of another company, I'm serious. I wouldn't be sharing this achievement, where I'm very proud of, by the way. So these millennials, that millennial mindset inspired me to go back to my board and to say, I'm going to take a second decision. I am going to make a board of millennials. And they said, what for? You already have a board. I said, yes, but there's no millennials on my board. So obviously they're a little bit afraid, but they're still there, by the way. And so we did. We recruited between 12 and 15 people in the age bracket of 27 and 38 years old, because that's what the millennials are. And we took them from our hotels. We selected them from account center and from the head office. And I gave them one of our most important priorities that we're working on today, which is the loyalty program. And our loyalty team is doing very well. We've got over more than 3 million members already in the UK and Ireland. And with good soft benefits, and our customers are happy and they convert. I mean, that's all fine, just that I want to double it. So I'm going to give this to that team of millennials, and I'm going to ask them to be creative, disruptive, innovative, and come back with ideas and work together with that loyalty team. And as I speak, that's what we've done. And what was funny, actually, is that when we selected those people, one of them came to me, he said, Thomas, do you mind if we do not call ourselves Board of Millennials or something like that? Because that's just not the way we talk. And I said, whatever. 1 hour later, I'm serious, 1 hour later they came back to me, they said, we did a brainstorm session in the canteen. And we came up with a new name. And as it's loyalty you want, well, we call ourselves #Y Loyalty Team. Certainly sounds much more exciting than the Board of Millennials. Yeah? So this millennial mindset, ladies and gentlemen, you might have realized that I am not a millennial, slightly. Well, I will not accept that this mindset is a mindset to be labeled only millennial. This is a mindset for all ages. And this mindset empowers your business. And this brings me to, with this mindset and these millennials, to how we disrupt through acquisitions. How we disrupt through acquisitions to empower our business. And I'm sure that many of you will have read about the different acquisitions we went through in the last 12 to 16 months. You're probably asking yourselves, what is AccorHotels doing and why are they doing all these acquisitions? And all this was after the announcement of our digital plan, 225 million euros of investment in digitization of our business. Well, let me tell you why we've done this. We've done these acquisitions because we want to accelerate the transformation of our business model, use this disruption in a positive way to empower our people and to enhance customer service. That's why we're doing it. And I would like to start with the private rental platforms. Did you know that already today, 20% of all business in the hotel industry is covered by private rental platforms today, and it's growing. So the first participation we did was in an American startup business. Already mature, but nevertheless still a startup business, in the private rental platform. It's called Oasis. And they are upscale segment focusing on business people and have a good presence in all the main cities across the world. Second participation we did was in a French startup business. It's called Squarebreak. Also upscale segment. It's more leisure-oriented and a good spread in Europe. And the last acquisition, which we own for 100%, is the private rental platform One Fine Stay. High-end luxury, both leisure and business, across all the main cities in the world. And to continue our strong presence already in the luxury segment, we recently acquired Fairmont, Raffles, and Swissôtel. Over 150 hotels across the world, with obviously a good presence in North America, 100% of heritage, 100 years of heritage, 100 years of experience in the luxury segment. So all these acquisitions, of course, it is about broadening our offer. And yes, it is about acquiring more brands. But even more importantly, it's about acquiring digital knowledge, state-of-the-art technology, expertise, and know-how. And this is not the first time we've done this. At the end of 2015, we acquired a company called Fast Booking, a company which specializes in optimizing your websites so to generate more direct traffic to your business. So, with all these acquisitions, AccorHotel has now about 4,000 hotels with residences and resorts across the globe. And we have about 2,600 of the finest homes in our portfolio. So AccorHotels is becoming what we would call a world leader in travel and lifestyle. That's what we're aiming at, and that's what we're working on. So are we becoming an OTA? Some of you might think, well, no, AccorHotels is not becoming an OTA. And I'll tell you why. Because we have the guest. Our businesses have the guest. And it's with the guest and our people that we're going to make all the differences. And because we have the guest, and because we're acquiring this technology, we can empower our people, our businesses, and enhance customer service. So this brings me now in how we use this technology to disrupt and to empower our people. Remember when I said that 46% of the millennials would be more motivated to come back to your businesses if only, as an example, they could do their check-in, check-out on their mobile device on an app. Well, that app, ladies and gentlemen, has significantly changed the way that our customer is interacting with our business. And this is why, since the announcement of our digital plan, we got rid of all our apps. And we have one single Accor Hotel app. And it's an app, you can look at it like the thread of the customer journey. And of course, today you can already do your booking online and on the app, whatever hotel brand in whatever country. But as we speak, we are integrating every single service that the customer comes along during his customer journey. So when tomorrow that customer comes to your hotel, comes to our hotels, and he goes into his room and he wants to order breakfast or room service or an extra wake-up call, or he wants his cab tomorrow in the morning, or an extra pillow, or he wants to read his favorite newspaper, he will go on the Accor Hotel apps. So, all this technology has made it finally possible to get rid of all that administrative burden that our people and our customers had to go through in our properties for years. So we've decided to get rid of the reception desks. No more reception. As we speak, they're gone. Because remember when I talked about these millennials, and not only the millennials, do you honestly believe when they come into your hotels that they're still looking for reception desks? They don't even know what it is. They're looking for open spaces where they can eat, sleep, drink, enjoy themselves, have fun with their friends and family, Skype with a friend, listen to music, and why not make music? So no more reception desks. And yes, we have also chosen, I'm sorry, but we have chosen not to put our people or our customers in front of check-in or check-out kiosks. We have chosen to put our customer in front of people so that at all time they feel welcome. So you're probably going to say, well, now that we got rid of all this administrative burden, that this technology has given the support to our people, that we are 100% focused on the guest. Well, what's the next step? Anyone know? The next step, ladies and gentlemen, is data-driven customer experience. Let me tell you a tiny little story. In 2010, and still today, I keep on repeating it. When I arrived in 2010, and they offered me this great opportunity to work in the UK as an MD for the economy brands, I arrived on a Sunday afternoon. And of course, my wife and children were still in Belgium. And I arrived at the hotel, and I was going to be staying in that hotel for about 6 months, time to find a place to live, and my family coming over. It doesn't feel very nice, I can tell you. And do you know what a Belgian does when it doesn't feel very nice on a Sunday afternoon? Yeah, you got that. He goes to the bar and gets a beer. So that's what I did. And I still remember, the chap was there. I felt a bit awkward. I didn't tell him who I was, but that wasn't really important anyway. He discovered it the day after. But I said, would you have a beer? Just any beer. And I said, if you have a Belgian one, would be great. I said, yes, sir, I have a Belgian beer. It's called Leffe Blonde. For anyone who knows that, it is Belgium. And I said, great, let's have a Leffe Blonde. I was a little bit disappointed, though, because wrong glass, not cold, no mousse. I said, if I'm going to stay in this hotel for 6 months, this will have to change. So I told the chap, I said, you know what? I'm going to tell you how to do this. It's my preference, if you mind, you know. If just every time I come, can I have it in that same way? So I would like to have a cold glass, cold beer, serve it properly, mousse on top, because Belgians have mousse on their beer, yeah. And he said, very sorry about this experience, but I will make sure that everybody knows, so when you come, you will have that. You know what? 6 years later, I can go in any, at this stage, our properties of AccorHotels, yeah? I can go to the bar. I don't even have to ask. I mean it. I don't need to ask. I've got my beer, my glass. It's cold, labeled to me, right temperature, mousse on top. That, ladies and gentlemen, is magic. So imagine if we had all these preferences of all our customers somewhere so that we could surprise them. Well, carry on imagining. Because at AccorHotels, we're becoming a data-driven company. And I invite all of you no longer to look at your hotels as properties with number of rooms. Start looking at your businesses, at your hotels as a business with thousands of customers. So what does that mean in the way we recruit in a different way, now that we are looking at our businesses as businesses with thousands of customers? Well, I'm going to tell you how we disrupt in our recruitment. You remember Jamboree? Jamboree, the food fest of the world? The easy part was the design, the menus, the lights, the music. That's the fun part. That's quite easy. Challenging part was, now how are we going to find passionate people who fit in that retail environment and can make all the difference? And this is where I believe that we should stop the rational, technical approach of our recruitment. Because I don't know if you remember, but the way we recruited our people in an office, and how many languages do you speak, and do you know how to work in the bar, and do you know how to make cocktails, and you know how to work with a PMS system, and you do Excel and PowerPoint, and I don't know what. Everything was technically oriented. All technical skills. Passion, talent, we don't care. Yeah? This is the time where I believe we should turn it around. And don't get me wrong, the technical skills are important. Of course they are important. But we've got academies across the world. I opened 2 or 3 years ago an academy. We have 5 full-time trainers. I've got over 200 courses. Anyone who's motivated and passionate, trust me, I can train him. We can do that. But training to be emotional, that's a bit more difficult. So what we did for Jamboree, took a little bit of a risk, but sometimes it's probably what I learned from the millennials. We hired a theater, the Shaw Theatre in London. And we organized an audition. And on the social media, we put, you want to become one of the members of our new Jamboree adventure? Well, come to the audition and share with us your passion, your talent, anything you're good at. And it's a nice theater, about 350 places. It felt a little bit like the X Factor. It was quite fun, actually. And yes, we did still have, for those who have seen the movie with Tom Cruise and Cocktail, we still had the traditional cocktail guy making his moves, and still, our people still like to see that, or our customers still very happy to see that. But we had a bit of everything. We had people singing, dancing, acting, making music. You cannot imagine. I was surprised. I would have assumed to see a little bit more of the rational. I didn't see any of that. And I'm happy to say that we recruited 5 people. There were about 100 people who came to that audition. So first, it was quite an exciting day. We recruited 5 people to start in our Jamboree restaurant. And of course, we cannot continuously now organize auditions and hire theaters. But nevertheless, the concept of focusing 80% of the interview on passion and talent, believe me, do it. And through all that talent that you will discover, you are going to find passionate people. And when you have those, you can train them on technical skills, in the case they don't have them. Passionate people empower our business. So, remember when 30 minutes ago I told you I was going to share with you what those 2 pictures had in common for me? Well, both of them embody the ultimate in competition. Now, this one here, where I was so close to be in the 4x100 team of Belgium, it didn't happen. But nevertheless, that competition made me stronger. And this here, what is supposed to represent the best of the technology out there that we're competing against, also strong competition. Well, whether it was there or here, giving up wasn't an option. So in 1983, I used it as an incentive. I used it as an incentive to get stronger, faster, fitter, meaner, leaner, you name it. Well, here, I choose to disrupt. And I choose to disrupt and use it in a positive way to empower our business. There, I had no choice. It was the hamstring. There, I had a choice. But both of them empower. So, I only have one slide. These, ladies and gentlemen, these are our potential disruptors, our potential competitors in the technology. And this, ladies and gentlemen, this is our positive choice that AccorHotels has made, to look at disruption in a positive way. So if in 1983, I didn't run alone, because I had my friends, family, and my team, and my coach, I still don't want to run alone. So, I don't know, are you up for the race? You want to join me? You want to join me and run together to compete against that competition? And look at that disruption in a positive way to empower our business, your business, enhance customer experience? Well, let's run together so that we can continue to build on this great hospitality business that we have and to continue increasing one of the highest performers of all the businesses out there. Thank you very much.